So welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be touching on a topic that a lot of you will be familiar with, and that is lie angles. Now, everyone knows if you're going to get custom fit, it's kind of length, loft, lie, or lie angle was one of the oldest things that was, you're half an inch long and 2 degrees upright, and that was kind of custom fit back in the day. Obviously, there's a lot more to it now, but we're going to be touching on lie angle specifically, as it's still a very, very important part of custom fitting, and more specifically, how that's going to affect ball flight. So now a lot of you will again, be familiar with the idea of lie angles. We're going to run through it all today, and then we're going to be doing a test on quad, 3 separate lie angles to really see how much that influences my ball flight and my miss. So first of all, we'll just touch very briefly on what lie angle is. Like I said, I'm sure all of you are very aware of this by now. Essentially, it's the relationship between the sole of the club when sitting flat and the shaft angle. So it's this angle created here between those two variables, straight line there, and then that angle there. So now obviously this is a Cobra Amsel Pro 7 iron, one of my old sets of irons. This is what I'm going to be using today in the test. Standard lie angle of this was 62.5 degrees. So that angle there created by the shaft going into the hosel and the sole sitting flat on the ground would have been 62.5 degrees. So obviously if we were to make this more upright, essentially all we're going to be doing is keeping that relationship the same. I would bend the shaft up. So the toe would kind of actually be up, but the shaft would be more up this way, if that kind of makes sense. And then the opposite flat. If you imagine I was pulling the shaft down and stretching the toe almost that way, that's laying the club flat. So the shaft's laying flatter, hence flat, and upright, obviously the shaft being more upright with the club being flat to the ground. So what does that actually do? Like, how does that influence ball flight? So I'm sure you've all seen one of these magnets that you stick to the face. Everyone probably, if you're on the social space, you would have seen it. Essentially, tilting lie angle tilts the orientation of the loft. So essentially kind of face angle, but generally the more loft you have, the more lie angle will then influence where the face is pointing. But basically, as we go kind of upright, it starts to tilt the face left, and as we go flat, it starts to tilt the face right. So those kind of ideas. So really, I mean, in an ideal world, when they used to fit, obviously using lie boards, it was, you made a mark on the toe or the heel, so therefore you need upright or flat. Whereas today, really more so, we're going to try and fit to ball flight first. We're going to try and reduce your miss first. So that really is what this video is about. How much does me changing this lie angle influence my ball flight and my miss and where the ball is finishing? That's what we care about in golf. We're trying to get the ball on the green, we're trying to get it down in the least strokes as possible. So how can we make that easier to do? So I'm starting with 4 degrees upright. So I've bent it in our loft and lie machine to 66.5. So that'd be 4 degrees upright of where this would play standard. Now I hate this, I hate it. I mean, the toe just sits so much up in the air straight away. And for me, I mean, a lot of you probably know I've got a left miss, so hate seeing that straight away. It's horrible. So essentially, there's a few other variables, like little variables that lie angle can change, not all the time with everybody. Depends if it makes you kind of manipulate your delivery a little bit or not, but we'll discuss those as we go through. But the main kind of point of this video is going to be showing you how much that can actually just help manipulate ball flight, start direction, curvature, face to path, all those kind of things. So 4 up, let's get a few of this and see how we go. Yeah, that's kind of what I would expect to see. It's a good strike. It's a good strike, felt good, felt like a good swing. And we've ended up 17 yards left of target. Essentially just try and get enough shots that I'm happy with, kind of showing a good pattern, I guess. Again, it's a good shot, good strike. Felt like a good swing. Pretty much going to be exactly the same result. Yeah, I probably landed right on top of the last one, to be honest with you. Similar strike, very similar numbers, 15 yards off left of target. Just going uphill. I was wondering why the carry was looking a little bit low on the old software. Hitting 10 feet uphill. That's not good. Can't be having that. Yeah, it was a little bit off the bottom, so it didn't go quite as far left, but still still left the target. Strike's good, strike centered, that's fine. Yeah, numbers are fine, no issue with any of that. Yeah, I really don't feel like I'm going to be needing to hit too many to show this test, am I? It's pretty much going to be every shot, every good shot is going to be in that bunker. Oh, a bit of a delay. Oh, it's the first straight one. Oh, go in the hole, get up. Oh, we like that one. We'll take that one. Right, gonna hit one more. I feel like that's a pretty good pattern there, to be fair. Pretty good pattern. Maybe I should just play 4 degrees upright. It's been 2 pretty decent shots to finish with. Right, so now I'm going to, so strike pattern's been pretty good. Couple strayed a little bit into the heel, but really pretty good. I mean, you can see the dynamic lie every time is up, obviously because it's upright. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bend this to standard, do exactly the same thing. Okay, now we're back to standard lie angle, so 62.5, loft still the same. Obviously, I mean, it just straight away you put it down, it actually sits just pretty perfect for me, to be honest. Just how I'd like it to look and sit. So, let's get a set with this. You might have been wondering why the shot count jumped 1, it's because I hit 1 a second ago off camera just to check that the dots were still okay after bending. Sometimes they get a bit like dirty and squished and they don't really work. So. Yes, right, let's give this a go. Straight away hits it left. That bunker is definitely going to get a lot of action. That did feel like a bit of a left swing, to be fair. And we all know my miss is left. So straight away, lie angle actually sitting at 0, which is good. Again, a little bit of a heel strike, which seems to be a pattern throughout the with the last lie angle as well. Just sits so much nicer, so much nicer. A bit grabby on that last one. A better strike, still left. Man, I'd be really good if that bunker was the green, wouldn't I? I would be solid. So again, the fly angle absolutely 0 again, but a little bit of a heel strike again. Yeah, felt like a better swing. Yeah, it's a good shot. Go in the hole, go. A little bit short, again, Healy. Again, it was Healy. That's interesting, isn't it? It felt like a decent swing, little pulley, but certainly I would take that. A little bit more central, that one, better. Go on, nice little kick right. Oh, go on, come on. Oh, woo! I like that. Again, still marginally Healy. I mean, everyone so far, apart from one, has definitely been straying into the heel. There we go, that was better. Again, Healy, I mean, definitely more of a heel strike pattern, isn't it, with this? So the lie angle is sitting flatter. It's less left-sided still. I mean, you can see a couple of leaky right ones in there, a few dead stray, and a couple still straying a bit left, but again, that's just me, but it's certainly less left-sided than it was. Again, super straight. Again, it's Healy. I'm going to take that shot all day long, but it was Healy. Yeah, that strike pattern's consistent, isn't it? Right, I think that's enough of standard. Let's go flat. Right, now moving into 4 flat. So again, straight away, as soon as I put it down, it's, yeah, very much toe down, which again, doesn't look overly appealing, I must say. It's probably nicer than 4 up, but don't love either. Bit of an extreme lie angle test. So there's a few other subtle things that lie angle tweaks that we're going to go over at the end that are very interesting, and most, if not all, kind of amateur people will not know this about lie angles. So, right, first one with 4 flat. This strike felt great, to be fair. On the line, 175. We like that one. Didn't pick up this strike and dynamic lie on that one, so I might just change these dots. Sometimes I do get a bit squisherooed in the old loft and lie machine. So if any of you are wondering how quad does read dynamic lie, obviously we look at the face. I hope you can actually see that somewhat. We're always 3 on the toe, 1 on the heel, and that one draws a straight line through the middle. So obviously if it's toe down or toe up, taking pictures so it can see how it's lying at impact. And that is how we get dynamic lie angle. That felt like a pulley one. That felt like the one that was going into the left bunker. And it's nearly gone in the hole. That I like. I mean, the first few were just really bad swings, like not good whatsoever. That one was much better, but it did feel like it was going to go left, and it didn't. I just actually can't strike it. It's just low heel. Low heel. Don't love it. I mean, yeah, again, there was one decent strike, but it's low heel. Low heel. Something about the way this is aligning is not aligning with me. That's for sure. Again, that felt like the left one, that really did. Did feel like the left one. It really does feel like a different club to swing a little bit, to be honest with you. And again, there's another reason for that. That actually felt pretty good. So it's almost like my swings that feel better and was a decent centered strike. That felt like it should have been straight, and it just went straight right, basically. And that's not really what you want. It does protect me against the left a little bit, which I do like, but I don't want to look up and see a good sort of swing, good shot go in just straight right either. That felt like a better swing. And again, that actually did feel like a good swing. And it's just high right. High right. Yeah, again, better strike. Again, that felt like a good swing, good strike. Just missing right. Very much left bunker, right bunker, isn't it? On my good ones with this, it's been right bunker. On my good ones with the 4 up, it was left bunker. And I think we're starting to kind of sum up the video already, really. It's been probably one bad swing, I think, with this that ended in left bunker, I think. Apart from that. Better strike and same result, or better swing, I should say. Same result, right bunker. Right bunker, okay. Gonna hit one more with this. Definitely struggle with this a lot more. Feels very, yeah, it does feel very different. And again, we'll touch on that at the end of the video. Right. That's a better swing. Hey, got one that went straight. Nice. Definitely starting to warm up a little bit more. Swing speed and club speed up a little bit. Swing speed and club speed. Oh, tell I'm tired. I said it's Monday. Right, 4 flat done. So that's 4 up standard and 4 flat. Let's dive into the data. Let's see the differences in ball flight. See the difference in kind of face to passes and these strike differences. And then we're going to touch on a little bit that people really maybe wouldn't know about or expect, the differences, the subtle differences that the lie angles can make. Right, so time to look at some numbers, some data, quite a few bits to go through here. So first of all, as you can see behind me, the efficiency with the 4 degrees flat was a bit worse because I just really struggled with strike. It kind of, the bad ones were really kind of low heel, just didn't really gel, didn't feel the same kind of when the mass was at the top. It just didn't really feel like it was right. So there's a little bit of information that, again, not a lot of people are going to know when it comes to kind of lie angles and what it changes about the club and how it will play. When we go extreme flat to extreme upright, essentially when we go in flat, we actually make the club a bit longer. So if you think about me bending this toe down like that, it's actually we're kind of almost elongating the club and making it play longer, and then kind of the opposite when we go upright, we're bending it up, making it play a little bit shorter. So when we went from 4 degrees upright to 4 degrees flat, it played about 3/8 of an inch longer on my ruler. So it's kind of in between 1/4 and 1/2 an inch longer, which also increased the swing weight by about a point, just over a point. So there's a 1 point swing weight difference and a 3/8 of an inch playing length difference as well. And I could almost really feel that there was kind of like, it felt to me like it was just more mass down there. The flatter I went, it just felt like the toe was heavy. And I think that's why it was kind of felt like it was throwing me off a little bit. So it's a little bit nugget of information that we obviously take into consideration. I mean, that was an extreme 4 flat to 4 upright, which is extreme. If it's 1 or 2 degrees, it might not obviously be making a noticeable difference in feel or data. It normally doesn't, but when you go in that extreme, it does. So it's a nice little bit of information for you there. So let's dive into the data a little bit more. I've already mentioned the efficiency, which was due to strike, which we can see up here. So 4 upright was a little bit more center, and the flatter I get, the more it moved into the heel, which is a little bit of a pattern, to be fair. Not everyone reacts the same, but for me, I do, and that's what I saw. But that's not the #1 thing I would say for this. Like when it moves strike marginally, that's one thing, but then what does it do to the ball flight is the main thing. So we will look at that in a minute as well. So we can see that the 4 upright face angular impact 0.7 closed compared to the 4 flat at 2.5 open. So again, we're just changing the face relationship. With the 4 degrees upright, we know that going upright is going to tilt the loft more left, therefore the face was coming in more closed, versus the flat lie angle, the opposite, so the face was pointing more right. That's pretty much it. Path, yeah, I mean, it's 3 to 4 degrees. It's 1 degree different, which was just me, again, to be honest with you, nothing to do with the club. The angle of attack did change a little bit as well. Whether or not the club had an influence on that, I don't know, to be fair. I did feel like I was making some worse swings with the 4 flat. So that could have had a little bit to do with it. That kind of feeling that more weight in the toes kind of throwing me off, kind of maybe getting a little bit more that way, getting a little bit more up. Possibly, a theory, but in this test, that's what it did to me. So yeah, and also we can see the dynamic loft creep up with the 4 flat because of that face relationship. The face being more open delivers more dynamic loft, which again, we'll probably see maybe increase launch and spin a touch as well when we look at the ball flight screen in a moment. But essentially, yeah, it did exactly what I expected. The face relationship changed, the strike relationship changed slightly, and therefore, if we flick onto the other page, we'll look at that dispersion. Okay, so jumping into the ball screen, we can see, as I said, face more open, delivered more loft, so the launch popped up with the 4 flat. You can see again that as a pattern, the face being more closed, launched lower, face being more open on these, it launched higher. Actually, the spin retained pretty similar. It was quite similar throughout, about 6,000. But yeah, I mean, the #1 thing that we're obviously looking at is lie angle tilts loft. Therefore, it's changing that face relationship. Therefore, where's the ball finishing? We want to get it finishing on target, right? So we can see that the 4 upright left, the standard pretty flat, pretty straight. A little bit of both, to be fair, and then the 4 flat, we can see, I mean, the dispersion was pretty shocking, but when I hit a good one, there was much more leaky right. The nice swings just tended to finish in that right bunker, as you probably saw. And yeah, that's not what we want. You know, the good swings with the 4 upright, left bunker, good swings with the 4 flat, right bunker, good swings with the standard. Actually pretty straight, maybe slightly left-sided. Again, I tend to play maybe 1.5 flat, typically is a nice kind of area for me that is a good balance of strike and ball flight as well. Because, you know, it is all about balance. You know, we could see that the 4 upright, I was actually striking slightly more central, but I would just never gain 4 upright. Because you can see it would just go off the planet left. Not only does it look absolutely horrendous being really toe up, it just went left. So for me, slightly flat, decent strike. I'd take a slightly more heel strike pattern with the ball finishing on target than a completely centered strike pattern and it just missing left. It's just pointless. Like, no pitches on the scorecard, is there? We want to score. So again, carry, it's not really about kind of launch spin carry. You can see I dropped a couple of yards with the standard and the flat. It's probably just strike, to be honest. Again, slightly more open face, slightly more loft. We see the launch pop up a little bit, those kind of things. So yeah, that's kind of a lot of information there, isn't it? But I guess the sum up is we really fit to ball flight first. We need to get the ball finishing on target. In the old days, you might have hit off a lie board and, you know, they'd go, oh, you're toe down, you need upright. Maybe not even taking into account what your miss is. So you'd get a set of clubs that are really upright. For me, for example, you know, it would just be going off the planet left. No good. So ball flight first, and we're looking at the other variables as well, kind of the strike, how it feels, how it looks, kind of all those things. And we're trying to just get the best balance of package for you. And again, it doesn't have to be the same throughout the set. Progressive lie angles are much more of a thing now. A lot of people tend to obviously leak the longer irons right, but with the wedges, if anything, maybe a bit of a pull. So going upright in the longer irons to kind of try and get that face a little bit more close to the path, kind of square up, get a nice straighter ball flight with the longer irons, and then maybe even standard or slightly flat in the wedges to kind of help prevent the left miss. You know, it's just, there's so many variables. But yeah, lots of data, and I hope that kind of gives you a good idea about what lie angle is, what it does, and how we use it to kind of help you play better golf, really. So yes, comment below what you thought, what you want to see next. Always interested to get your guys' opinions. And yeah, stay tuned because we got more coming.